one movie that is out and that's doing pretty badass is Army of the Dead. And Army of the Dead is number one on Netflix. I think in 82 countries. That's the website that I kind of got it on. Got it off as 82 countries. And one of the most successful films for the service ever for Netflix. That's what it's projected to be. 72 million views over 4 weeks, up there with movies like Extraction, the Russo brothers Chris Hemsworth movie, Old Guard with Charlize Theron, the Midnight Sky, George Clooney, stuff like that.
I'm surprised at Midnight Sky, actually.
Yeah, that film is visually good, but it should have focused on George Clooney and the little girl more instead of the other side characters, which were just boring. But anyway, Army of the Dead is going to be a huge hit. There's a prequel coming, and there's a series coming. There's two prequels: a movie, live action movie about theater, and animated movie, which series that Zach showed us a picture of earlier on the Twitch stream, which looks like the Telltale Walking Dead game.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. But it's number one. Netflix released the numbers yesterday, something that HBO Max and Warner Media wouldn't do, that it's projected to make 72 million views over 4 weeks, which is awesome. So a sequel will happen. This universe is probably going to be the first MCU-type universe for Netflix, which is something that they've been wanting for a very long time. So I'm happy. Love the movie. I've watched it every night since it came out. I love zombies. Love Zack Snyder. So I love this movie. But Alex, you got to see it, and what was your thoughts on Army of the Dead and these numbers coming out?
No, one, the numbers are phenomenal. I know they're some discussion. Was it 72 million within a week? Is that projected? Regardless of what it is, it's all good in the end. This is a brand new IP. Zombies of all things, because right now nobody really cares so much on zombies. If this was 5-10 years ago, different story. But you're getting a new zombie flick that is doing phenomenal, especially right before the summer, and it's not during the horror season around October, September. Says something about not only the film but also the fan base behind Zack Snyder. The film, I fucking enjoyed it too. It was a great ride from beginning to end. I loved all the characters behind it. When Zach casted her and just seeing her character on screen, I freaking loved it. Freaking loved her. Because of that, I took out my flight suit. I was gonna put on, but then I'm like, yeah, I can't because it's for another IP, so I'd rather not. I'm just not talking about my Ghostbusters flight suit.
Awesome.
Yeah, but no.
As you said,
no, it's great, and the crazy thing about it is, it's not just a zombie film. Zach just threw in everything from aliens to different sci-fi. You got robots, or were the robots controlled by the government? With the aliens, is there time travel? So
there is
so much packed in 2.5 hours. And of course, it's about love and family in the end.
Yeah. Well, look, Netflix, it doesn't matter what the numbers were. It just shows Netflix fully backs Zack Snyder and the movie if they're willing to come out and say 72 million people watch this movie or will watch this movie.
No, not only fully back them, the marketing behind Army of the Dead is crazy. Every day is something new. For this film, everyone is talking about it. Usually for a Netflix type film, the talk is maybe for a day, and that's it. You got the buzz for a full day. With Army, it's been every day on the day, and it's not just because of Zach's fandom. You're getting people outside of the fandom talking about it, and even yesterday had Seth Rogen praising the film out of the blue. Yeah. So.
It didn't have a huge star. An Extraction had Chris Hemsworth Thor.
Yeah.
I know Dave Bautista's Drax, but he's covered in makeup. Not everybody would really recognize him that much and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, the one with Mark Wahlberg did pretty well enough, but Mark Wahlberg's a known star. He's been around for absolute years and stuff like that. The Murder Mystery had Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, two huge stars around the world. So those movies that are in the top 10, George Clooney's a big star as well. Those movies that are in the top 10 all have a huge star attached to them.
The star was Zach.
Yeah. But no disrespect to Dave Bautista, but he's just not that usually known yet.
No, because the thing is with Dave, he's never led a film, so this was his opportunity to show his chops. And kudos to Zach for seeing that in Dave because he rocked it. Because you saw that little tease of what Dave can do with a Blade Runner 2024-7, and seeing that, I'm like, is that Dave? Like, I couldn't believe, I could not believe it, even though it was like a 5-minute performance that impacted me, and that's something that I remember every time I think about that film, which is a great film all around. But when I think Blade Runner, I think about that one scene with Dave Bautista, and now he just led his first film essentially, and it's number one in the world.
Yeah, and like with Blade Runner 2049, that didn't do well at the box office. Not many people would have seen that, and not many people care about who the director is of a movie. The general audience is stuff with a lot of people who just sit down and watch a movie. KC, how big is the 72 million being projected out into the universe to public knowledge? How important is that for the universe?
Yeah, I don't think, like you said, I don't think the views or how many households are watching matters that much. The fact that they are willing to, so anytime they do this with any movie or any show, giving out numbers and it's top 10 or top 5, stuff like that, it's because they wanna use that as a promotion tool, right? So if it's successful, they'll promote it more so that they can build around it, a franchise or whatever. So this already has a franchise and there are 2 things already attached to it. So they didn't need to do all this, but still, they did it because they want to capitalize on it as much as they can. So they have so many videos coming out, so many interviews, so many different types of things with cast and Zach especially. So I think it's all good, and it was number one globally, and we saw how fans were sending us screenshots from their own countries where it was number one. That was great to see, and also Netflix also put out a poster with the number one globally thing, and some actors shared that on Twitter, so that's also good and good visibility. So I think it's great. But the number I don't think matters. Although I do hope that it ends up being in the top 5 because Netflix doesn't do this often. But I think for the past 2 years, or at least the past year, I think they did the top 10 lists for their best movies, top popular movies, popular shows, and all that stuff. So if it ends up on one of those lists, that would be a great win. And I think it will.
It will.
Yeah. So it's awesome, man. It's cool to just see them support Zack Snyder. So I want Zack to be happy, and I want him to make awesome movies. And this was an awesome movie, and he does seem happy. So why not continue working with?
And I also think that they did this because of the HBO Max thing too. Like that was an issue with HBO Max, right? That they didn't release the numbers, or they didn't even call Zack after that.
Yeah, no, that is something just internal because, to be honest, I'm just gonna be like a nihilist or like a pessimist just with what's going on with the Army and with Netflix just going crazy with marketing for it. To be honest, Zach was given 90 million and he came in way under budget. So let's say there was like an extra 15 million on the table on top of already, let's say the 5 or 10 million that Netflix was willing to put in for marketing. They have a good amount of money that they can now just go crazy and just promote.
That's a great point.
But no, and that's great for Zach too as well. It showcases he's somebody that will keep it to a budget and also turn on something that's quality, because a film and that caliber, it looked great on not only on the big screen but also on TVs as well, minus a couple of dead pixels that people picked out. But everything that happened with HBO, honestly, I'm feeling now more than ever, because originally I did fear that maybe the numbers were not what they were expecting, or it did hit expectations, or just right below expectations. But they could have at least mentioned something. But in the end, it's something that's internal that they don't want to promote this more because if it was successful, then there would have been an uproar, and it will come down to anything that HBO is going to be doing that now and forever. The next press junket for anything that they're going to be producing or releasing, they will be asking them or will you be doing Justice League 2? Is this going to be an HBO Max special? Is this going to be now moving towards Warner Brothers? Are you guys going to be doing the production? Because look at the numbers. And I feel that they're afraid for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it is a success. Everything that's been going on that HBO has been marketing currently about the streaming service, you're still seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League as a top performing film, a top search film, one of the most viewed. So, come on, show us the numbers.
In their latest, Latin America release, they also had that poster with, good engagement and all that, and they mentioned that it was a popular HBO original. So they do admit that it was popular, but they just don't want to, market that.
Yeah, look, on Netflix's announcements, it looks like a little shade towards HBO Max as well. To put out a big post like that and say how well Army did. HBO Max didn't do that. Warner Media didn't do that. All this promotion for Zack Snyder's Justice League in terms of YouTube videos, breakdowns, interviews, and stuff like that. HBO Max did a little bit of it, but they didn't do a lot. They could have done a lot more.
It didn't do a lot for everything that HBO Max did. I loved the marketing that they did for it, but it was directed towards us. It was mostly for the fans, and it didn't reach out to the general audience. Whereas what you're saying with Netflix, that is a general audience appeal. You didn't see Zach on Conan or The Late Show for the Snyder Cut. You didn't have anything for talk shows, but you're seeing that now for Army. And to Zach's credit, he's using that opportunity to promote Zack Snyder's Justice League because with The Late Show, it was the Snyder Cut of The Late Show.
How amazing was that?
Netflix is marketing the Snyder Cut more than what HBO Max and Warner Brothers has done the past couple of weeks than HBO has done these past few months. It's insane, and it kind of showcases that this is more of a internal situation than anything else. That it wasn't that successful,
blood.
and Zach is using this as an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly, and the thing about that as well, because I think Warner Media were also trying to promote the Snyder Cut, but also not promote the Snyder Cut because they didn't want all the bad eggs to get out there about really what this movie was now different. Maybe that's why he wasn't on late night talk shows and stuff like that. But it's funny how Stephen Colbert and Zach had to make a skit about it and talk with Warner Brothers and stuff like that, which was pretty funny. But
yeah, but it's for all those, it's a parody. It's like Warner Brothers do not use this as for every HBO or Warner Brothers tweet that comes out. Don't put that hashtag.
I know people were, excited to see him say that, but to me, the whole skit was even more funny because it was directed by Zach, right? So he was so self-aware in that, and he was making jokes about slow motion and all that stuff. I loved so much. Even the title sequence,
that green screen table, great. I'm surprised no one's done photoshops of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
Actually, I feel a lot of potential behind it. Casey, let's do it.
Let's do it. And also the interplay between, the way it was cutting between Zach and Steven. Steven would say something like, "Oh, he just had some little things to say," and then Zach would everything needed to change. And, it was just so funny.
Yeah. Or. Steven's the only guy who actually lost body mass.
That was hilarious.
It was really well done, and fair play to Zach for participating in that. And it's only it's a skit as well, but
it was all Zach, and it was directed by Zach, and he knows what he knows what fans, he knows why fans gravitate towards him. He knows his style and what fans love from his style. So I love that.
And why people hate
him. The title sequence was the perfect thing to say that, because it turned dark and there was thunder, lightning, rain, all that stuff. So it was amazing.
We also have Naveen in the comics. Naveen was on the stream watching Army the Dead earlier. got to speak with Zach, which was pretty awesome. So good to have you here, Naveen. So yeah, so
Hey,
Army of the Dead,
Naveen.
#1 globally, right? Also,
Sorry.
it's also projected Netflix's most popular movie ever in 4 weeks. So that's pretty awesome. Thumbs up towards Netflix for promoting the movie, releasing it, greenlighting spin-offs and sequels and prequels and all that kind of stuff. Probably get an Army of the Dead too. And it's a good time to be a Zack Snyder fan. So I'm happy for Zack Snyder.
Yes.
We're all happy.